The last time this time is going to be done by me. Yay! So last time on Shadows, we had a very long fight, a very long fight session. As everyone went in to deal with this shrine, which I have later named specifically Hallowed Visions. You went and basically in broad daylight during the morning, early parts of the day, went and attacked a shrine because it was to this Dallia person who had been the source of many strife, much strife, and you dealt with a fighter type person, a cleric, and then you went downstairs in a hidden little alcove, basement, whatever you want to call it, and then encountered a wonderful duergar that challenged you to a one-on-one fight, and then subsequently ended up fighting Cad, much to her chagrin, and then getting bored, and then blasting everybody with shatter, which led to her breaking the one-on-one rule. And as it was said in said session, Karma was an instant, yeah, she got defeated very quickly after
Karma.
that.
Yeah. She was not ready. She was not prepared.
Wow.
I know very little about that game series, but I do know that line.
Yes. That being said, after the combat was over, we had a very upset Kadruil because that was a much more intense fight than he had encountered. And
when he came out of his rage too, there was that whole thing.
Yes. You looted and got rid of, or have taken to your possession many of said duergar's possessions. And
we also have a bag of muffled poems.
Yes, but prior to encountering the duergar, you encountered a room filled with miscellaneous random objects, which appeared to be a bedroom of sorts. And a few of these miscellaneous objects were randomly speaking in poems in other languages, which you grabbed all four of and stuck them into the bag of holding. And you then tied up the duergar and brought her topside to where the entrance was. Locke used Eldritch Blast a few more times and other such things to completely destroy the rest of the shrine or the statue. That's why the statue no longer exists and there's just a gray square or gray circle. Symbolizing essentially the rubble that is scattered in and around over there. It would logically be in other places, but whatever. That was easier for me to deal with. Though technically the destroying of this statue would probably be happening sometime during this particular time scale, because I'm starting this beginning of this session as you are returning to the top with the tied up duergar, just in case we wanted to have a on-screen exchange for the potential emotional support and a hug. At least for Kadruil's benefit. Yeah. So this session opens with, I guess, perhaps if it was like an anime, there'd be this shot of Locke blasting the rest of the statue to bits, and the duergar is tied up and I assume tied up and gagged, but still unconscious.
Oh yeah, we basically took her armor and all for like gear, so.
Uh-huh. You took pretty much everything she had except for the clothes on her back, more or less.
Yep, pretty much.
Which, on that, the clothes and underneath the armor are very much someone who stuck to being in the underground. It's very clear that her stuff is like, it's not necessarily in tatters, but it's very dirty and slightly greasy in places because she works with machines. But yeah, she is clearly not a person that is usually in and amongst other people up in the normal society, as it were. Um, yeah, I was going to give the floor to you guys just in case Locke wanted to actually put that Locke or Kadruil wanted to put that exchange on camera for sake of emotional support and a hug, or if you wanted to do anything more to it, or with it rather.
Well, what's Cat doing?
Well, we were inside the place, and now we've sort of teleported outside.
Yeah, we've come out. I've blown up.
That was done roughly towards the end of last session. I mean, I can put you guys back down there if you want me to.
I mean, it's irrelevant. It's a question of timing. Basically, rage ended, and do what?
This would be just after you have come topside. So just after the rage and the battle. Battle probably ended like maybe 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So by now, I would probably just be mostly quiet and my eyes very large. From my point of view, my rage ended, and I focused my eyes at the end of my weapon that was still in my hands, and I was pinning a mangled individual up against the door, and that's not something that I enjoy seeing or thinking about.
It's also not something you typically see when you come out of your rage, because usually all the bodies are somewhere else.
They're not usually still attached.
Yeah, they're not usually still on your weapon yet, so you usually don't have to think about it. It's like, okay, let's not think about it.
Also, even if we do see even if I do see the corpses of the enemies, literally, there's nothing to say that I did that versus y'all did that. So this is most definitely I did it, and it would bring about a certain amount of shock from me because, yeah, if you remember from a million years ago, is it part of my character sheet?
He doesn't like hurting things.
When I fight, I remember nothing and regret everything.
Yeah.
I fight enemies, and then you guys are okay, right? This time we fought enemies, and are you guys? Oh my God, what am I doing? So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well.
So I'd probably be very quiet and large eyes, even larger than mine normally are.
All right. Well, then I guess once Locke's done blowing up the statue, I'll just have him head on over. Hey, you doing okay there, big guy?
Yeah. He's just sort of like his gaze is forever away. Just and I like slowly nod vacantly. It's like, no, I'm not.
Locke doesn't really have much he can say, so I'll just put a hand on Cad's back for support and just be quiet for the time being.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So what's going on topside now?
Yes. What is everyone else doing?
Let's see. Let's start with Silver. What is Silver doing, having come topside?
I don't know. She's just dragging the unconscious lady.
Yeah, I was curious whether who was. It made made the most sense that Silver would be the one that's dealing with the unconscious duergar. Seeing as how Cat is sort of indisposed, and between the two of them, they're the strongest ones. That would be the easiest to carry and or drag her. So.
Right.
Yeah. So. Oak is actually once he's once it's been established that the duergar is being more or less taken care of for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and the statue has been mostly destroyed, Cat is actually going to wander over here to this and sort of look over these grave sites that are, particularly the ones that are.
Who is?
Oak is going to look over the grave sites and things, particularly the ones that have grave sites that are open.
Mm.
And Young is still just looking at the unconscious duergar. You know, I haven't really seen a lot of duergar around, especially not one like that. Most duergar and whatnot are more like the aggressive and really fighty type, and she was more like, I guess, intellectual with all of her random things that she was making. Like, do we know that she made all those things? It seemed like that to me.
I mean, could be.
I don't know.
Hard to tell.
I don't know. It's weird.
That it is.
And she finishes up talking about that, and then Oak randomly speaks up and, hey, do we still have that list? The list of names and things that we had before from the other cultists that we saw before?
Yes, we have the suspicious hit list.
Yeah, whoever's got that, I guess Silver's got that. I feel like some of these gravestones have some of those people's names. Names sort of match up.
Here's the list. You can check.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he's going to do. And to sort of expedite that, as this is sort of a little over an hour or so that it takes for this, essentially a short rest. Those of you who gain benefits of short rest, other than just straight up health, well, yeah, you essentially can have a short rest here, everyone, because it's going to take about an hour before the duergar comes back to consciousness.
Alright, I'll go ahead and spend 3 of my hit dice then to get back some HP.
So, in that time of, short rests and other such things,
I would like to use Detect Magic and see if I can discern any kind of magical aura permeating the area. Can I use that to determine whether or not the influence of the deity, whatever, is weakened over this area now?
Sure. Where are you focusing your, since it comes from, like an arcane sight kind of a thing. So where are you focusing this to try to?
I just see if there's magic around. I just see the auras.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna walk around as we're taking our short rest with that going and see if I can find any leftover magical aura. Tell me whether or not the influence is still active or if it's diminished.
Um.
Because we came here to break Dolly's influence, I want to make sure we actually did that. Because I don't want her, I don't want her poaching me.
Right.
That would be less than convenient for me.
Yeah, wandering around a little bit over the course of the short rest, you can sort of. It doesn't really. You don't really sense a strong magical aura permeating around this area. At least not like it was before. If there realistically there would have been some sort of magic that was flowing through this area to, sort of make all the plants and everything in and around the area dead. So you can pretty safely say that whatever that was that probably caused that is currently not around.
Nice.
And your ability for that gives you senses of actual magics and like spell schools and stuff like that as well, right?
I mean that's just what detect magic does. I just have an ability that lets me cast it whenever I want without expending a spell slot.
Right. So, though there is no like strong aura left in and around the immediate area, you do get in looking around that there is a very, very faint necromancy aura on the unconscious duergar. But it's very, very faint, almost as if it is either weak or perhaps inactive in some way. But other than that, yeah, not really any strong auras around this area.
Well, all right. Well, once I've confirmed that, I'll go ahead and retake my position by CAD for the time being, because those two have developed a really weird camaraderie. I think Locke just kind of started really like him when he realized he can get piggyback rides, and the friendship just kind of grew from that.
I mean, it is a convenience for someone like Locke who's not very physically inept or physically able. Being
my strength is 6. Yeah, I'm a twig. I'm still a twig. I'm probably always going to be a twig.
And that's why I can pick you up so easily.
Exactly. That's why we keep doing that, having you pick me up so easily, because you can do that, and I can haste you, and you have a high movement speed, and we can like, we've done it. We kicked arse.
Yes. So, Oak had picked up the list from Silver and had been wandering around the grave sites, and he comes back and details that there were some grave sites that had names that were matching to people on the list, and a few that basically there were some names on the list that were on gravestones, and the ones that were marked, some of the ones that were marked out were actually the gravestones that were open.
Was the name Norvid on any of those? On any of the graves?
No, I didn't see the name Norvid here.
Okay.
Perhaps, since we do know that, we're going to be busting shrines in other places and other graveyards and things, that might be a name to look for later, I suppose.
Indeed.
Alright. So, what's the plan here, Silver? Are you going to are we wanting to interrogate this duergar as she wakes up or something?
I mean, we can attempt to.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Whenever we're done here, we'll of course want to make our way back to a town nearby that I forget the name of off the top of my head.
Fumok.
Fumok, thank you. Mysterious voice in the sky. There's a strange voice in my head. Anyway, but
what direction is it from where we
are? That way.
Is it north or west or?
It's mostly north from where you guys already get back to Fumok. All right. So, having done that, about hour or so passes for the rest of your short rest, and the duergar finally starts to stir a little bit. And how? I guess she's just like straight up tied up and bound and all this other fun stuff.
We're getting really good at doing that to people. So
apparently,
we do it every time because we don't need people to have their mouths gagged for us to talk to them, because I can just talk to them in their fucking heads.
There's that, and because half the time the people that you're tying up and gagging is magic users. So
indeed.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm a physical class. I don't have to deal with all that hocus pocus.
Bibbidi boppity boo.
So,
Right.
once she starts to stir, she tries to move to get out of the binds, and I imagine that Silver is probably there to keep her from getting too far with such an endeavor. Um, Also, she's not necessarily the strongest duergar in the world. She's got a high strength score, but compared to most like duergar warriors, she's not all that great.
To dissuade her from trying too hard to escape, I'll have Locke like a form Eldritch Blast energy on like the tips of his fingers and just point them right at her eye. Just kind of give her like this wry smirk and awaken mind say to her head, yeah, don't.
Which, by the way, you going up closer to her to, um, you know, put the Eldritch Blast in her face and at her eyes and to try to be intimidating, um, all that fun stuff. You realize upon doing that, and as you start your mental conversation, her eyes are closed, like tightly closed.
Okay.
Oh, is it daylight?
Yeah, I mean it's during the day, so it's like at this point it's probably roughly
So she has
say
a sensitivity to light?
And Duergar typically do. They're basically drow,
Oh.
but dwarves.
and then in mental because
Plus, we can sit there. I'm a horrible person.
okay, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I guess if she doesn't answer truthfully, I guess we just like pry her eyelids open.
And then melt them open with sealing wax.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Out of character is fun.
All right, so she stops like moving as you hit her up with the awakened mind thing. Is this really necessary? I could have almost been okay with being tied and gagged if you didn't bring me up here.
Well, I mean, we had a statue to break, and we didn't want to let you out of our sight, so, you know, put two and two together, get four.
Fine. But just so you know, I didn't intend to go anywhere. You guys won. Okay, I broke the thing and you decimated me.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah, we kicked your ass, so, yeah, you totally had that one coming.
Yes. But I do have some degree of honor to me. I wasn't going to just run off.
Well, I hope you can forgive me for being skeptical of that. Hence the gag and all the bindings and dragging you up here. We don't want to be taking any chances. I'm sure you can understand that if you're as honorable as you say.
Yeah, I can, sure. Tell me, is your ASMR friend over there paladin of sorts? Have access to, what was that spell? Zone of Truth.
I glance up at Silver. Silver, can you do that thing that makes people incapable of lying, or is that not in your repertoire?
I can do it.
Okay.
But it'll
You're
cost.
lucky that I have just enough energy to do it.
All right, hold that for just a moment. Are you suggesting we use it on you?
Well, if it's be a way for me to make sure that you guys are aware that I am not lying, sure. Although, to really be effective, I don't know if Zone of Truth affects mental communication. And just so you know, you saw how I fought. You're a magic user of some persuasion too.
I blow shit up.
Yes, I noticed. Well, I can't do anything spell-wise without my equipment. I am like a spellcaster where the components always require material. So, you can rest assured knowing that if I wanted to do a spell, I can't. Because I currently, as far as I can tell, though I am tied up, you took all my stuff. Or at least I would imagine you took all my stuff.
We took all your stuff. It's sitting somewhere around here. I wasn't really paying attention. I was busy trying to be a therapist to our elephant.
Therapist to you. Okay, you'll have to explain that later. Or not, whatever. Anyway.
Probably won't. We don't much like you. Now then. I then pop out of the awakened mind for a sec. Glance at everyone else. Alright, so her magic apparently only works when she has all of her stuff that we took, so we can ungag her and you can zone of truth her and we can get this interrogation proper underway. Sound good?
Okay.
Alright. And as I'm like starting to undo the gag, I'll one more thing in awakened mind. And don't try anything. If you're telling the truth, we don't have anything to fear that, but just in case you are trying to drop a deception on us, we'll blow you apart if you make any attempts to fuck us over. Capiche? And then pull the gag out.
Did you say that out of character?
That was awakened mind.
Okay.
And once
Thank you.
I've done that, I'll step back and I will give Silver the floor.
Casting.
Alright. So
who's then?
Charisma saving throw.
Whoever is in this green area needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Well, Oak would have made
the
it.
entire map.
All friends, remember you all have +4.
All right.
So pretty much everybody.
Yeah, everyone.
And it's charisma save.
Mm-hmm.
I have proficiency in that.
I do too.
25.
20.
If we
Nice.
add that additional 4 from you, then that becomes 29.
Okay, so that one
Hot diggity
was
damn.
the one I rolled there with the 20 was Oak, and then Young. Aw, poor Young.
Is that +4 still 15?
What's the DC they
She
have
still
to?
pass. 15.
Oh, the DC's 15.
Yeah, so she passed.
She's passed specifically because of your thing.
So Silver is like pointing. You can lie, you can lie, you can lie, and you can lie.
And then Chicky,
Yeah.
which I'm almost tempted to have her make it, have her just drop it because she actually asked you to do it, but it doesn't matter because her charisma is garbage, so she'll probably fail anyway. Nah, fine, whatever. So she randomly rolled an 18. What the crap?
Yeah. So Silver's like, she can lie.
Can't do any better than. Whatever. I guess I just got lucky. Normally spells like that work swimmingly on me. It's annoying. But regardless, I don't think I'm going to lie to you if I specifically asked you to do this spell to me. So, whatever. Anyway, so you guys specifically came here to deal with stuff with Dallia. You wanted to weaken her influence and all sorts of other such things, I can only assume, considering you destroyed her. I worked hard on that thing. Whatever. Anyway, it was mostly magic anyway, so it doesn't much matter. But you wanted to weaken her, and you know what? Pretty much done with her now myself. So
Why are you such a turncoat?
well, for what it's worth, you don't know my relationship with her to begin with. So for all you know, I could have been fighting with her for the past, months. So
Not that I was. Gotcha. She's tsundere.
Anyway, point being, she would not give me what I want. And I was sort of hoping that I could get your help in that regard. Because if you can't tell from the fact that I have my eyes closed right now, me and sunlight do not get along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the lovely realm in which Dallia resides most of her time, the Feywild, is sunlight all the time. It's annoying.
This is like 2 suns, isn't it?
I think so. That's what I've read.
I never stop and look at them.
Thankfully, her weakness to sunlight is not vampire sunlight hurts her, but more so like
Just can't fucking see.
sunlight in her eyes, and she gets all screwed up. She literally has
It's like light blindness.
Yeah, she literally has disadvantage on anything she does, or she has disadvantage on attacks and disadvantage on perception when she is in the presence of sunlight. But anyway, so I requisitioned a device to allow travel to the Feywild. I wanted to hopefully find some form of allies or crew that trust me well enough to go into the Feywild to get something for me. I had that crew. They weren't strong. They did a few little things for me for a while, maybe, and I still didn't think they were strong enough. It's a good thing I didn't, because if they would have went into the Feywild and you guys got rid of them so easily, I'd be without a crew anyway. But suffice it to say, you four seem, or 5. Sorry, I have my eyes closed, so I can't remember who all was there, and whatever. The 5 of you seem to be well, for lack of a better way to put it, powerful sort. You dealt with me. And for most of the fight, I was fighting only one of you. So, look, if you go and do this thing for me, I will give you all the information you want on Dallia and Norro and all that other stuff.
What does everyone else think?
I'm not sure if I trust a duergar. That must be that lovely elf that hardly ever spoke and only hit me like once. Yeah, I saw your skills before. Very impressive. Taking extra step to unlock a locked door. Not much of a rogue, are you?
Elf?
Hmm?
For some reason I heard elf.
Yeah,
No, I didn't say elf.
Yeah, didn't you mean to say dwarf?
I probably did. I don't know. I meant dwarf.
Okay.
You fucked up.
Take 3.
Yeah, whatever.
My flesh evaporating. Could we hurry this up? Oh, I'm submitted down in context D&D quotes now. I'm just submitting shit as we get it.
Yes. So
if that's the kind of random stuff you look for, you need to like keep me around, because I can't stop myself. I have a problem.
yes. So
I was going to ask you, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my mysterious bag of books that I got out of the prison cell.
You do.
Could one of my 8 remaining books be something that is like a story Like, I don't know if it'd be fiction or non-fiction, but some sort of like storybook or something.
Probably.
So when she was sort of asking, would we be willing to help or, whatever, I just rummage through my bag and pull out said storybook. I walk up to her and I like set it on her knee. I'm guessing she's on the ground. And I just sort of pat her on the head and then return to where I was standing. I am so glad that she's not dead.
What? Wait.
You can hopefully read that later.
Okay. Maybe.
I'm sorry.
Did the Locks of Dawn that spent almost a minute beating me up with a hammer literally just give me a gift?
He's nice.
Right. Okay.
Well, so just to make sure I've got this straight in my head, you're trying to hire us to do a thing for you?
Yes.
In
And
exchange, you'll give us information.
in exchange, I'll give you information. And on top of that, you would also have access to the resources that I have as well. Because I'm sure that should you succeed, I'm sure there's, creative and interesting ideas that you would have in your head to get for gear and weapons, and I can arm you, essentially. With almost whatever you would want,
But-
assuming that's reasonable.
But wouldn't Dallia now know of you,
Probably.
basically? So why won't she send someone to stop you?
Well, I would assume that, see, that's the thing. If Dallia did not want you to find me, she could have spun things to where you weren't able to make it here. She could have led you guys on a wild goose chase and other such things. So, I mean, she could have messed with one of you's heads, I'm sure. So,
And the mission you would recruit us for would require us jumping into the Feywild? Am I understanding that part correctly, too?
yep, you would go into the Feywild.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that idea.
Hmm.
Dahlia's already made a grab at me once before. I'm not keen on stepping into her territory where her power's even greater. To give her an opportunity to try it again.
What is it that you need again?
Yeah, you haven't told us what exactly we'd be retrieving.
It would be vials. I have a few empty ones downstairs down in my lab. So, if you choose to pick up this mission, you will be taking the empty vials with you. But I want vials of powdered scales from a tatsel worm.
Tatzelworm. Does Locke know anything meaningful whatsoever about tatzelworms?
Roll nature, sure.
Out of character, is it
19.
not from our plane? Out of character?
It's in the Feywild, so of course it's not going to be from our plane.
Okay.
Well, I mean, theoretically there could be creatures that would have been, moves from one plane to another. So just because it's currently in the Feywild doesn't mean it always is. But
Okay. More pointed question. Would I have ever read about them anywhere? If
Uh,
they're from another plane, I'm assuming not.
probably not. No.
Okay.
Nature of 19. You have there was an arcane book that you read back when you were with your mother, that sort of an arcane wilderness combination sort of information guide that spoke about these creatures known as tassel worms, and they were exceedingly rare, for one, and for another, they were rumored to have a ability to foresee events. And this is why they were sought out, because it was thought that one could create a potion that would give you a sort of limited future vision. And based on context and your 19 of roll of 19, that's sort of what comes to your mind. Those specifics on what a tassel worm looks like, what it is, you don't really know.
Alright.
From what Locke knows of the tassel worm, he has no idea what sort of creature it is, other than it being perhaps some degree of reptilian in some persuasion, because reasonably...
Probably a worm.
Yeah. Being that it's, one, its namesake, and two, the details of, getting the scales and turning them into a powder. So if it has scales, one would assume perhaps some degree of reptilian or something. So, yeah, that's all you really know.
Well, what do we think of this idea, the rest of us?
Well, okay. And this is Oak speaking. So, what would happen? What do you think? He's speaking to the duergar. What do you think would happen if Locke was to go? If someone like Locke, who Dallia was already after, was to go into the Feywild? Would Dallia actually be stronger? I mean, I'm sure she would be stronger. It's her realm, or a realm that she is in. But I don't know how these other planes and things work exactly. Well, for one thing, Dallia resides in the Feywild, but she's no deity or godly being within the Feywild. She's close, she's nobility, but the only reason that someone becomes strong as a patron or some such, I think, is... She sort of looks Locke over for a second and goes, "You're one of those warlocks and things, right? Like,
Yeah.
Norro?
Yeah.
So, from what I've researched before, and take it with a grain of salt if you want, whatever, but from what I have researched before, a warlock patron is not always some sort of godly being or other. So there's someone extremely powerful that has magic that they loan to someone else. So it'd almost be my guess that if you went into the Feywild, Dallia would perhaps not even be able to really get to you, because she resides in that realm similar to how us mortals reside here. But take with that what you will. I don't know. All I know is that she's told me before that if I was to go into the Feywild, that she wouldn't help me whenever I was there. And I went there, I started to plan to go there, then I researched it, and then all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, it's never nighttime there. Yeah, I'm not going there. So, here I am.
Fair enough.
Now, I know that, Fey magic and energies can get stronger in the Feywild, but I don't know if that applies to any of you or would cause problems.
None of us are Fey, right?
I don't think so, no.
I sort of nervously eye Silver since she's a menagerie of I don't know.
What?
Oh, menagerie of I don't know. What?
In other words,
Well, I saw her explode in like all sorts of insanity and everything happening all at once and Locke running away into the woods and I don't know what that was all
then. Okay.
Yeah, that or her evil look.
So I don't know what else she's got going on. None of us are Fey, right?
maybe some of you might be touched by a Fey, perhaps. But aside from actually being Fey, when I saw you guys fight me before, you didn't seem like it. So,
Mhm.
Huh. Uh-huh.
so what about you, Miss Paladin? Says the duergar. What do you think of this? I think you're the only one that hasn't voiced some sort of an opinion.
I mean, if one of us is not comfortable, we don't have to go. I was just hired by them, so.
So you go where they want you to, huh?
That's how it started, at least. I like to think at the very least it's evolved slightly past that point.
Then Silver pulls out her calculator. She's like, "Actually, you owe me."
Yeah, kick in the teeth.
It would be.
Silver does like money, but-
I don't really like any of you.
Actually, it'd be one of those. What is it? Abacus.
Magical objects are nice, but we don't know if you'll sit there and curse them. Because we've had a run of bad luck with finding cursed objects.
I have a crossbow somewhere who's probably very angry with me.
It's still sitting in the bag. He's probably having a nice chat with the hammer.
Probably.
You do realize that not all cursed objects are possessed, right?
Well, we at least.
It
Well,
was
oh
a
no,
joke.
oh no! I just realized the crossbow, the talking crossbow is in the bag, right?
Yes.
So are all of the items that are repeating poems.
Okay, and
He's surrounded by inanimate objects reciting poetry. I just think that's
I
hilarious.
don't know how the bag of holding works, but I do not know that if there actually are.
I
next to each other.
choose to believe that the talking crossbow
I
is
believe it's a
surrounded by
vacuum
poems.
bag, isn't it?
Okay. All right. Fair enough, Locke.
I
I
am
really
choosing
want
believe.
to. To be honest, I really want to get a hold of some good cash. Or gold.
You're gonna pull the crossbow out later for some reason, and it's gonna be like shining and golden and silver, and with a very easygoing voice. I have seen the light. You've driven the darkness from me.
So, okay.
The holy cross.
How about I give you gold then? I do have some of that. As payment for doing this for me, rather than simply just items.
Well, how much gold do you have? Sorry, it's just I don't trust you. We want good items, not bad ones. So, I mean,
Good
So
items.
how much gold do you
good
have?
pay.
I pushed for the zone of truth for a reason. I'm sorry that I was able to fight it off this time for some reason. Whatever.
still, but
But
it
If
only
you don't-
lasts so long.
if you don't believe me, go downstairs and look into my bedroom down there. You will find a satchel of gold down there that is all that I have in this particular hideout, but I have other hideouts.
I go up
Well,
and
how much
I
do you
tap
have?
Silver on the shoulder and I point at the bag of holding.
Hmm?
Can I see that a second?
What do you need?
I wanted to pull out the green glowing maul thing that we got.
Oh, right. Oh, from that one dude, right. Yeah,
Do
pull
you
it
have
out.
anything against me, like pointing and extracting an item from the bag?
She holds the bag up, open. Go ahead, grab it.
Yeah. So I sort of hold it in front of the duergar, and I guess try and stand so my giant head eclipses the sun the best that I can do, whichever direction the sun's coming from. So you work with items and stuff. What about an item that's cursed? Can you remove a curse?
It would take a bit of... Wait a minute. She sort of looks over the...
And I didn't lay
mall
it
as
in
best
front of
as-
her. I didn't lay it in front of her, and I didn't hand it to her. I am actually holding it, but I'm extending it out so she can get a look at it.
At least attempt to.
Well, she's got most her eyes closed, so... Well, you're trying to eclipse the sun a little bit so that it's not right in her face.
Hopefully she noticed a refreshing shadow over her closed eyelids.
Yeah, so she sort of tentatively opens up one eye, and it's like, oh, right. And you were asking if she can remove a curse, and she's still mostly bound. She was ungagged, but she's still bound.
Yeah.
She sort of takes a look at the mall for a second, and it would take me a bit of time usually to remove a curse. Wait a minute. Did you? Someone finally beat him,
What?
and it was you guys. Okay, you got this off of a crazy Goliath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
that
did.
almost killed me.
Almost killed her. Damn near abducted me. A little shit.
Yeah.
Don't know how to brag. Oh yeah,
Well, we
we
just-
wiped the floor with him. Anyway.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't have the bravery to have a boasting streak.
Anyway.
And technically,
Have you
neither
seen me?
would
I'm
Cat.
scared of her. I point at Silver. No offense.
What?
It wouldn't be in character for me to be boasting like that either.
Locke said, have you seen me? I'm scared of her, while pointing at Silver, followed immediately by, no offense.
She literally goes, wait, what?
Blink, blink, blink.
Like,
It's the spooky wings and your serious attitude, and I'm just going to shut up now.
okay.
Is there anything special about this item that you can tell other than the curse, or is the curse the only thing that makes it unique?
Well, the curse is, depending on your point of view, yes, this is a curse. For the Goliath, it wasn't. However, removing this curse, or changing this item in some way, would not be hard for me at all. Because I made it. So,
What does it do exactly?
it feeds off of the user's life force it feeds off of both the user and the target's life force. It allows it to plague and drain energy from those around, or those that are struck with it. So that makes it incredibly powerful, as not everyone can deal with that kind of energy and things. And that particular... Yeah, something tells me from your laugh that you can deal with that just fine.
I mean, I took a couple of hits.
I've heard of ASMRs being able to resist such energies because being like celestial or divine or whatever the heck they are, whatever.
Oh, I'm nowhere near divine.
Fallen whatever. Anyway, point being, if you want this hammer, this maul to do something a little bit more your style, I can remove the runes and glyphs on it now and change it to something else. It would give you a potentially magical weapon that would be much stronger than the maul you currently use and would fit your... She sort of hesitates for a second and then says, fighting style.
I guess I would sort of turn to Silver and say it would sort of constitute part of a payment, and I wouldn't require any gold or anything if that was part of it, but if it was up front, then it would assist us if we were to take on a task, sort of leaving it like up to her.
Also, I have a question of my own.
Yeah.
We found a bunch of inanimate objects that were talking, like reciting stories or poetry. The hell's up with that? Do you know? I assume you do. You seem to know a lot about what went on here.
Of course I do. Haven't you ever been alone before? Silence is deafening.
It's deafening, but I tap the side of my head. This keeps me plenty of company.
Well, I don't have that.
You don't have a brain? Oh, that explains a lot.
Well, she walked into that one.
Shooter. You absolutely walked right into that one.
Okay, so the kid's a little clever. I'll give him that. Good on you.
I have to be clever. I've got basically nothing else.
But yes, to be more specific, when you are alone, traveling alone or otherwise, silence can be extremely deafening and make things a little bit boring. So every now and then I will find a story, read up on one, just hear one, whatever, and I imprint a magic item to recite part of it so that I can tap it and have something to listen to every now and then, especially when I'm working on something. It's especially useful then. Granted, I don't usually have them all going at the same time. I did that because I knew somebody was going to come into my... I noticed that someone was coming into my cave, or my lair, and I did that in hopes that you would not open the doors to my personal room. But whatever. You found it. Good for you.
So she opens them all in new tabs, but pauses all but one usually.
No.
Sorry, anyway, go ahead.
Seems to be the internet equivalent, yeah.
I listen to YouTube while I work. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so then
Random question. Where'd you hear the dragon story?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
There was one of the bards from, I think I forget which city it was, either Curacao or Rydell, I'm not sure which. There was a bard there. Interesting fella. And he was telling the story one day.
Okay. God.
Wesley?
she sort of thinks for a second and goes, sorry, that was several years ago, I think. The only thing I really remember is he had a tail, and he was he looked like a halfling, and he had a tail. But whatever.
Oh.
Not the bird then. Okay. Another question. This method of punting our sorry asses to the Feywild, how does it work exactly?
Well, again, downstairs in my room, you probably didn't notice it because you were distracted by all the other voicing and items. Downstairs in my room, there is a very nondescript, simple-looking little very pretty stone that will allow you to do planar shift, specifically to the Feywild. Once and only once, round trip. So it gets you to the Feywild and gets you back one time.
And then it's spent.
And then it's spent and has to be recharged, which, according to the old Chrome that I got it from, it recharges in like several days. But
All right.
That's interesting. So, do you guys want to watch her? I'll go down and look.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting, I look at the duergar. It's gonna get real awkward if we just keep calling you the duergar. So, the hell's your name?
Ulara.
Ulara.
So, if we're going to be on more reasonable terms, I have a question for your Loxodon friend over there.
I sort of look up surprised.
Why does someone who is willing to give a gift to a enemy turn perhaps some sort of associate, whatever, fight like a barbarian?
I'm sorry. It was how I was trained. I'm glad you're okay.
Well, I've been in better positions, sure, but I guess that makes sense. You trained up in the capital, huh? I guess. Whatever. Okay.
I'm not.
And you don't. Okay. Whatever. So we jump to we jump to Silver as she goes downstairs and makes her way to the it is technically the second room that you came to that had all the items in it. I'm not going to change the map because that's not really required.
It was the one that was straight ahead and then to the right.
Right. Yes. So you make your way down and go straight for that little bedroom. And knowing to look for it specifically, go ahead and roll for me investigation with advantage. This is not going to necessarily mean that you find it or don't. This is essentially going to be how long it takes you. Investigation with advantage. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was already looking at it before she opened the door.
Too bad her natural 20 roll is on something that's probably not going to matter ultimately. But that's okay. Yeah.
Thanks, GM.
It takes you very little time at all for you to find a very on the surface it seems to be very plain. It looked almost like a big round stone that one would have as part of like a rock collection or some sort, but there's no other rocks or anything around it. And you grab it and pick it up, and then you see that there is a very elaborate rune specifically on the bottom of it, so that when it's setting down, it doesn't really appear special. And you know a little bit about magic and what she has said in describing that this is probably the stone that would allow you to planar travel. And then you turn and you immediately see a satchel of gold that's sitting slightly under the bed and in the shadows and hidden from view, but yeah, it's right there.
She's gonna sit there and count the gold.
Okay.
Yeah, so you grab at the satchel, pull it free. It seems to be a rather hefty little satchel of gold. And counting through it fairly quickly, it's got about 300 gold in it.
Okay.
And bear in mind that she said this is what she had with her currently.
I guess she's gonna head upstairs unless she finds anything else.
Actually, you rolled a 21 on investigation. You notice something that you it wouldn't have been something that you were looking for, but it is something that you spy because it was a little bit hidden. Opposite to the bed, or opposite to where the gold was hidden under the bed, it was like basically she hid it under her bed and behind one of the legs of the cot so that it was not as easily seen. She did that with the gold on one side, and then on the other side you see a. It looks to be like a it's made of like stone and clay. And it, for lack of a better term, it looks like it's some sort of like mannequin head, or like statue head. Nondescript looking face, doesn't look like anyone that you know or seen, doesn't look like Dallia or herself, or the duergar herself, or anything. It's just this little statue, just like the neck and head that's just sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you find that, take with that what you will, and you make your way back up. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What kind of expression does it have?
Very plain. No sort of very like lined mouth, just no expression, blank stare. Nothing really special about the face. It seems to be as if it would be more functional rather than like aesthetic in any way. Though for what function, who knows? But yeah. Anyway, you make your way back up, and Oak, as you come back up, he's whoa. Well, that was fast. Must have been pretty easy for you to find.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Ulara sort of looks back to Silver as she comes back up. All right, so I guess you found the stuff down there. Maybe, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you satisfied with that amount of gold? I have more, mind you, just not here.
Where?
In my other hideouts. Which I'm not going to tell you where those are unless you do this quest. So. Gotta have some form of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oak speaks up and he's, so what are we thinking? Do we actually want to follow through with this quest, or?
Well, refresh my memory out of character. Do we actually know where the other shrines are, or do we only have their names?
You currently only have their names.
Well, if we're gonna keep going after Dallia's influence here, we're going to have to know where her shrines are. This could present us a shortcut. I'm still a little iffy at the prospect of popping into her realm, though, when she tried to poach me, so if we do it, we do so with the stipulation that we use that stone to snap back the moment I'm worried that I might be getting encroached on.
Since Locke was so kind to me, I'll go up and put a hand on his shoulder. I'll be there too, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going if we're doing this. That's the idea. But I appreciate it.
If that was spoken out loud where the duergar could hear,
Yeah.
she speaks up and she's, if you feel as though you are getting uncomfortable or that Dallia is encroaching on you, sure, you're going to have the stone to allow you to teleport back and forth. It's just the only issue would be that if you teleport back without having succeeded on the mission, then you would
We'll
have
to wait for the sucker to recharge, yeah.
Yeah. But
well, I'd rather wait a few days for it to recharge than risk having my mind snatched up and ensnared by some crazy Feywild bitch that we're currently at odds with.
Yes. But I would point out that if you take a trip into the Feywild, you perhaps will learn, because unfortunately, I only have information that would lead you to where the tasselworm is, rather than the actual location of the tasselworm. So, perhaps you could go into the Feywild, learn some of that information. Dallia starts to mess with you, you teleport back. You now know where the tasselworm is located. You then go to that location in this realm, bounce back to the Feywild, stay there for less than a few hours as you deal with whatever the tasselworm encounter entails, and then you bounce back. That way, she doesn't have as much time to mess with you. Because, I don't know if you know this, but the geography of the parallel realms like that of the Feywild is extremely similar to ours. It's just certain things are different. And
Yeah, so I've heard.
So if you learn where the tasselworm is located in the Feywild while the stone is recharging, you could go to that location here so that you only have to spend maybe an hour or two in the Feywild that second time, if that happens.
Well, that's a bit of an assurance.
I would like to point out, though, that time in the Feywild moves slightly differently than here. So, if you would want to speak to others to let them know that you're doing this, or that you may be disappearing for a couple months, you might want to let them know first.
Months? That's some impressive time dilation.
Well, you're going to be traveling in the Feywild, and an hour in the Feywild is a day out here.
Oof. Well. Fuck it, if the rest of us are in, then so am I. Kinda need the information on the other shrines at any rate.
Yes, you do. You're an interesting sort of people. I'm sure the tasselworm will be of no issue to the five of you.
Well, we can hope. What do the rest of you think?
I
I
would.
go where you go, Locke.
And I'm down for an adventure. Someplace different for once, said Young. Never really done planar travel, but could be interesting, I suppose.
All right. Silver?
This could be a good down payment. We'll come back for the rest.
All right. Well, then. The way I see it, if we're making this leap, we, as this fine lady pointed out, will want to notify people because we might be gone for a while. And we'll probably want to just rest up and get our strength back in general, because you may have went down fast, but a sort of a gesture vaguely around. You hit hard when you're tall.
Thanks.
On hearing this, Cad sort of like slumps his shoulders and tries to act like he's a little shorter.
Oh.
You have the hat. Just make yourself into something shorter.
Oh yeah.
Though he can't get much shorter even with the hat.
All right.
So
I say we pop back to Fumak to rest up. We can get free lodging there. And once
you get free lodging in Fremont?
we know a guy.
Huh. Well, that's convenient.
We didn't say you could have free lodging.
I didn't want it.
Night.
I didn't want it.
Damn it.
I'm simply... Look, I said prior that I didn't have information as to where the tasselworm is, but I had a location that you could potentially find out. And it just so happens that just so happens to be the city, well, the town that is the mirror town to Fumak in the Feywild. So, you go to Fumak, rest up, take the teleportation stone, or take the planar shift stone, planar shift while in Fumok, learn what you need to do about the Tatzelworm, and then travel to the Tatzelworm and you can get out of there. It might take you however long it takes you to get from Fumok to wherever the Tatzelworm is. Normally.
Okay.
That is convenient.
Now, you should be safe in whatever the town equivalent of, whatever the town in the Feywilds version of Fumok is. Most of the people there are pretty calm. I sort of read up about it when I was planning on traveling there. They're satyrs, so they're peaceful and calm most of the time.
Most of the time?
Everybody has their bits where they get upset, so...
Okay.
All right. Well,
one mana, one ones that cannot block.
So were we wanting to alert people before we left somehow, or?
that was the idea. We have spells that can do that, don't we?
Yeah,
We do.
so I think we head back, tell them, sleep, then go.
Then go. Yep, that's the plan. And as for you, I turn back to Ulara, was it?
Ulara, yep.
I turn back to Ulara. I imagine you're going to be staying here.
Well, this is the layer that you know where to find me. So, yes.
All right.
And you said it wouldn't take long to uncurse this item?
No, it shouldn't. You can tell me what sort of, if you have any ideas, what sort of special qualities you want it to have instead. And if it's in my power to do so.
I just sort of shrug. Not cursed, and something I can protect my friends with? I don't know. Not cursed.
Something that you can protect your... I think I can do that.
Also, if there's nothing else special about those talking things, you can have those back. They're currently in our bag of holding, but...
So I guess Silver gets the books out of the bag and just like hands all 3 books to her.
Well, items, not books. I will be here. I will work on that hammer. Or maul, rather. I'll work on the maul. I'll surely be able to finish it in however long it takes you to deal with the Tatzelworm, assuming that you're gone for at least, like, a week, which you'd probably be gone longer than that, but, again, I don't know where the Tatzelworm's located. I know that it is relatively close to here, so probably 2 or 3 months tops. Just as a guess.
So we need to reverse the polarity of the stone so that it charges in 1 hour here instead of like 3 months there or something.
Yeah.
You are gonna get more gold, right?
I will, upon you returning with the Tatzelworm scales, I will give you more gold by virtue of telling you where my other homes are and giving you the means to get past what traps I have set, and then you can have whatever gold is there. Well, you can have the rest of the gold that is there, rather. Which, yeah, you'll get more gold. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you every gold to my name, mind you, but I will give you a decent sum.
I walk over to Silver and very, very quietly whisper at her, what about her stuff, her glowing armor and such? Because we took
that.
all of her stuff except clothing, right?
Yep.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Silver just shrugs. Not saying
And-
anything.
I
For what it's
shrugged and
worth-
sort of meandered.
For what it's worth, I would like to have my stuff back. I can't very well work on your. I can't very well work on your maul without my smithing tools.
I guess she takes Silver takes the hammer and gives it back.
And my armor.
You don't need armor to make things.
How about I give you that armor when you return with the tassel worm stuff, huh?
I don't know. What is it with this armor?
What about it?
It is actually used for smithing. It's the chest plate of anvil hide.
No.
She like beats it against her chest.
Like, what kind of armor is it? What does it do?
It is incredibly resilient to a lot of the energies and magics that powerful individuals like to use. It is specifically designed to keep those who think of themselves strong at bay. And to put it into technical terms, it will give her. It specifically gives her resistance to force, radiant, and necrotic.
Even though my character already has.
Yeah, resistance to necrotic. I'm pretty sure that if you have an item that gives you resistance to something when you already have resistance, since they come from separate sources, I don't think it'll stack. I would have to look that up, but I don't think so.
Well, judging by everyone, I don't think they need this kind of armor.
Good.
Wait, what kind of armor is it?
It is the I think I described it as chainmail shirt, somewhere between chainmail shirt and half plate. It's considered medium armor.
Oh, okay. Does anyone want to think they could use this?
None of us are dwarves. It's too small for us.
That's a good point.
I'd say let her have it back.
Okay. Guess we give her back her things.
Yay.
Mhm.
Can I perhaps be unbound, please?
Yeah, sure. And then we're probably heading out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Locke will whip out his sickle, cut the ropes, and back off.
As soon as she's free, I fooled you all. Come back.
What?
What? I fooled you all. Ha ha. Poof.
No. She sort of stretches and fidgets a little bit. Like gets her armor, adjusts her clothes, sort of basically wiping herself off, which is not useful considering all of her clothes are like dirty anyway. And she fidgets a little bit and gets her crazy red hair out of her face, and everyone make for me a perception check.
Yay, I get to do something.
15.
Oh
Oh no. There's one of them.
I don't see it, but perhaps I smell it.
In this particular scenario, not.
One more.
In this particular scenario, not really. It's not something that you could smell per se. You do perception for the other. Yeah, pretty much. Smells like recently, or well, not recently. It smells like decayed dead things, just ever so faintly. Then wow, right, because high perception of holy crap. I forgot about that temporarily.
Yeah, sees all.
Perception from a young. Boop. Okay. So, Locke. In particular with you, Cad, you don't notice it, even with a 13, because the DC that I was putting, the minimum DC I was putting for noticing something like this was actually fairly high at 15, so Locke just hit it. And Young technically just hit it as well. Silver, not a clue. Because natural one. You're. I think you might be engrossed by the rune on your little stone that you just grabbed. That's the teleporting stone, but who knows? But you notice that as she moves to get her hair out of her face, that she has a very... You didn't really see it before because her bangs and things would block most of it, but when she goes to move her hair out of her face, you notice that there is a definitive band, almost like a hairband of sorts, that is resting just underneath her hairline. And that's, yeah.
Okay.
Do with that what you will.
Can I do my detect magic thing again? Is that hairband magic?
Using detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
The hairband's not, but the hair is.
Her hair is magic?
Yep.
What is she, a Super Saiyan?
She's bald.
Is she
used
Million?
magic to grow her hair.
Is she that one lady named Million? What's it from that one game series that I don't know?
She, the school of magic that is on her hair is necromancy.
Oh, that's sad. All of her hair died, and she resurrected it.
Yeah, and it's that same dull necromancy energy that you were sensing before when she was unconscious. And it's a little bit stronger now, but not incredibly much so. Seemed to become a little bit more active when she was conscious. But yeah. So no one else really notices much of anything. Young's perception of that is that her hair might be a little bit... Her hairband was a little odd placed. But she doesn't have a means to detect magic or anything. And unless Locke says anything more, you guys are going to make your way.
Making our way. Heading out. Back to Fumach.
Alright. Once you guys have started making your way back to Fumach, and once she went back downstairs, Oak sort of speaks up a little hesitantly, but he'll mention it. I don't know if it was just me or not, but I don't think that was actually her hair. She was... It looked like it was something that she was just wearing on her head, as opposed to her actual hair.
Like a wig.
Like a wig.
Might be.
Maybe. Did you see anything weird in her room besides what you went down there for, Silver?
Yeah, there's this thing, and she explains it.
The head.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I put a picture of one in the Discord. I don't know if it's accurate. You said
It's pretty
sort of
close.
expressionless.
Pretty close. Though the features were a little bit less pronounced on hers, but yeah, pretty close. So I don't know. It's weird. I guess maybe she has... Was it magical? Locke, did you see if it was magical?
The hair? It
Yeah.
was necromantic in some capacity.
Well, necromancy does both cure the undead things, and also is the same school for cure wounds. So I don't know. Weird.
Very
I don't
weird.
think we should really ask about it specifically though. But
yeah, that'll be a weird question. Hey, Ulara, the fuck's up with your head? Oh, go over well, won't it?
indeed. But yeah. So you guys make your way back to Fumach then.
We make our way back to Fumach.
It doesn't take you all that long. Because the shrine wasn't that far away. It's probably at this point probably about late afternoon or so. Just hitting maybe 4 or 5 p.m. as you're making your way back.
Okay.
You make your way back out and back up to Gabriel's tavern, I'm assuming. And Gabriel welcomes you as you come back in. Ah, you made it back. How did it go?
It went.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, more or less.
Well, you don't really look the worse for wear, except maybe your Loxodon friend over there.
Like I said, it went.
Well, either way, I do still have some soup if you want it.
Yes. Locke is all over that shit.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody have anything specific they want to discuss as you sort of get you a meal and a slightly late lunch or early dinner, depending on perspective, and yeah, it's all provided for you.
With a perfectly stoic, straight face, I sort of ask them, "Do you have any donuts?"
We do actually. I had some made fresh. I knew Locke would return eventually.
Locke gets this kind of red tint to it. She's like, "Why does everyone keep giving me donuts? I love it, but why?"
They bring them out and present them to Locke, and I just pick up the platter and start eating them, like really slowly and intentionally. It's ow.
Locke will start having donuts too. When and why did that become a thing? I forget.
You were emotionally distraught at breakfast time, and you had said something previously about needing sugar to get going. And so I had asked if they had sweet pastries like donuts, and the GM ruled yes. Ever since then, emotionally distraught puppy needs donuts. Get him donuts.
But I'm not the emotionally distraught one right now. That's you.
That's why I took your donuts. I'm eating them. I don't have a problem. Oh.
Okay.
Everything's fine. Oh. No, I'm honestly though, I am visually better than I was because
Donuts.
I did not actually like destroy her. So yay.
So Locke is stuffing his face with donuts,
Indeed.
and we're just sitting here watching him like, how is he
I'm-
so tiny after eating all those donuts?
Kadruil's eating donuts too, so.
Yeah, I'd say that Locke's probably gotten one or two off the plate. I totally ordered them for me.
That kind of slipped my mind.
I always got them for emotional support for Locke, but today it's my day. Oh.
Emotional support for elephant instead of emotional support for scared halfling or half elf boy.
Yeah, my mistake.
No worries. I mean, Locke is eating as well, so because you have soup and other such things. I mean, everyone's eating at this point.
And I'd eat real food too, but yeah. For some reason, I was craving a donut.
And so.
In the meantime, I think Silver's gonna sit there and split up the gold.
Ah, yes. Because you have 300 gold to split up.
And there's 5 of us, so that should be 60 each.
Math.
Easy math.
Hooray.
I would mention that she didn't necessarily have to. She was going to, what's her face? Ulara. She was going to try and make a weapon for me, but
Yeah, we all need money.
well, if you insist, I'd graciously accept it. So 60 gold.
Yep.
Yay. For some reason, carrying around 61 ounce gold pieces adds to the total weight you're carrying.
Mm-hmm. And that's how that works.
But currency's just a number. What if I open a chest and got 9999 gold? I wouldn't be able to move, but I could buy the world.
You finish up with your meal. It gets closer to the evening, and everyone's ready to crash and lay down for the night. And Gabriel, at this point, sort of chuckles and goes, "Well, you'll be happy to know that you don't necessarily have to share rooms this time. I think, granted, I don't believe the guys that were in the rooms prior were left after you, but they never came back. So there's rooms free now.
Nice.
And yeah. So everyone has their own room this time, and you can get a good night's rest in.
Awesome. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And you rest up for the night. Everything is great. Everyone is fully healed. Yay. Those that are still hurt,
Our max values are turned to normal.
unfortunately.
All of my spent numerical resources are now maxed again. Yay.
Indeed.
I'm back to 44 hit points as my maximum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm a warlock, I'm squishy.
Hmm.
I am a
Yes.
squishy boy.
Morning comes, and Gabriel welcomes you for breakfast, which is probably some variation of soup again.
The best soup.
Indeed.
It's the same soup, but he scrambled eggs and threw in it.
You know, scrambled eggs and shit that you would not normally expect to find eggs can actually work surprisingly well. I know, I've done it.
It can. Yep. And you can all go into the day as you wish. However you want to do this.
Oh, we didn't do any messaging last night to use up spell slots.
Oh, whoops.
You didn't.
I had
Can we
zero spell
can we
slots.
can we retroactively say that we did?
It would have been from Oak, and he would have thought about it more so than the rest of us did, so sure.
Okay, so it's like notified the important people who will need to know. We can inform everyone else that we're going to be gone for like a while, some indeterminate number of days. That could.
In particular, I'm assuming mostly we're doing this for Locke's Alessandra in particular. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she can inform everyone else that we have hanging out in Ukiagi about it. She can just bring that message to the rest.
You do we do a couple different spell slots for a message. In particular, Locke sends one to, or Oak does one for Locke to talk to Alessandra. Let her know you may be disappearing for a month or so. Do you want to give her the information of where it is you're going and what you're doing, or do you just want to tell her you'll be gone for a month? Maybe.
Let her know where we're going so that if she wants to try and scry if possible, she can try to do so at some point, just to keep an eye on the situation.
Well, if she scries, she's not going to find her.
Right, because the planes get weird.
Scrying doesn't work when you're on a different plane of existence.
Right.
So, there's that. You're going to be gone for a month, and she wouldn't be able to scry on you, and you specifically tell her where you're going so that she knows that she can't.
Right.
And then, having done that, Oak will also send a second message out, because he does have a spell slot left, since this was last night, he sends a message out himself to Leanne, his mom, back in Misty Village.
Right.
And in particular, he does so without worry with you guys, but he mentions that he unfortunately will not be coming back to the village, and he may miss the next party that they have planned. Because apparently he had heard about a party and was wanting to be a part of that if he could. and now he thinks he might not. But oh well.
Oh,
And so yeah, there's that, and then you rest for the night, and you get ready for your next adventure and fun. You are ready for your next adventure and ready for this fun planar travel. Where do you guys go to make your teleport venture?
I'd say a mile or two north of town, just so that, like, when we do it, we don't accidentally teleport in the middle of town and accidentally startle a bunch of satyrs.
boy, that would be fun.
It would be fun, but counterproductive.
This is true.
Why don't we just do it in the street?
Because then we'd teleport in the middle of a satyr settlement and probably startle a bunch of satyrs.
So
Look,
Okay.
I don't look. I don't want to startle the people with long horse legs that can run faster than me. All right.
So what we do is we get ready to prepare to go through with the stone, and we ready an explosion to go off right as we step through, so we appear on the other side with an explosion,
No.
all wearing sunglasses.
No. No.
Wow, no, we don't need sunglasses.
We don't even have those. What are those?
I
Those
don't know.
would be-
It's like glass or something. I don't know.
Those would be incredibly useful in this world. Ulara would love those.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Did you know that they have transition lens contacts now?
Yep.
yeah, they do. Yep.
Yeah, my mom has those now, or she's getting them soon. So that ought to be fun.
All right.
Mm.
So you're going to travel a mile or two north of town.
I think just within a mile is fine.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, who is the one to make use of the? I mean, really anybody can use it except maybe Kadruil might have a hard time because magic isn't his forte, but pretty much anyone can activate the stone and get it ready to send. So, whose hands is it in to do this?
Not mine.
All right, fine. Sylvie will do it.
Okay.
All right. So, you guys head up north a little bit, and you will teleport to the Feywild. It's great, and wondrous, and fun. You're currently.
It's the same exact map, but all the cities are spelled backwards.
No. Put you a little bit up here somewhere. Although this doesn't matter because I do technically change the map. So Silver activates the stone, and for a moment a large circular glyph appears on the ground, similar to the one that's on the bottom of the stone, and it vaguely resembles the way that the teleportation circles were, though it is much more like there's much more energy behind it. And Silver, you feel the rush of energy and power as the magic flows around the stone because you're the one that activated it. And quit pinging over there. Yes. So yeah. You're all shunted forward as you are teleported, and you arrive in the Feywild. And yes, the map is literally the same thing. All I did was adjust the colors a little bit because everything here is slightly more saturated and bright. Boop.
Oh boy.
Literally the same damn map. Okay.
Yep. Didn't want to have to do some weird juggling and adjusting of maps and things here, but I just wanted to use the same sort of like landscape map because that's pretty much the same. The Feywild version of this kingdom is much more densely forested. So, for purposes, this map has forests in it for where the forest would normally be in the material plane. But those forests are jungles, and everywhere there is grass is like dense forest as normal. So there is very, very few open plains in this version of the world that you're in. It's heavily forested, heavily nature-centric, and other such things. Yeah. You see a settlement in the forest, not that far away from you, although, to really get a good look at it and not be distracted by all of the nature around. Yeah, perception checks, people. Hooray.
7.
15.
I suck.
Oh, not disadvantage. That one. Oop. I see and smelt it.
Perception. Boop.
Oh no.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Young is very much distracted by, holy crap, it's brighter here. Whoa. You guys sort of, you went from like early morning, like dawn, to super instant high noon sun. Boom.
Oh god, bright.
Yeah. At least in the areas where the sun is, you can see it above the tree line and things like that. In the jungle parts of the map, yeah, no, you're not gonna even really see the sun. It's still bright because the sun is bright, but it's there's like heavy canopies among the jungle areas. So yeah, very, very bright, and with a perception of 15 silver, you see the settlement that is the equivalent of Fumak in the Fey world, off in the distance among the trees. And Oak sees it as well, and he's, holy crap, it's bright here. Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah, can we...
my eyes.
Let's head towards the town.
Hopefully that can be a little bit, once we get used to that, we might be okay. Whew. You make your way forward. And I sent you a thing, Kenneth.
You sent me a thing.
So you make your way forward, and the lovely town is in front of you. As you get closer, though, you notice that, because there's no perception checks needed, but you are making your way closer, and you see, at first, what appears to be a satyr standing guard, as this version of Fumak is surrounded by a fence. You get closer look, and it's not a guard. It's a satyr's head on a spike.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't like this. Why?
That's not a good sound.
And of course, this lines up with what I sent to Kenneth earlier.
I was gonna say, I was a little uneasy before even seeing this, but yeah.
Because even from a distance and even with a 10, your lovely elephant smelled blood.
How fresh does it look?
Within maybe the last 2 or 3 hours. That's why it hasn't much decomposed.
Can I peek through the fence?
The fence isn't super high, but yeah, you can totally look through it. Perception.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking through, like, are there people going about enjoying their days, or is it, like, barren, empty, 19 perception?
So you look through, and So you rather than looking like over the fence, you're trying to look through the holes in the fence because you're sort of short.
Short, and I'm trying not to draw attention to myself because if we're dealing with a threat, I don't want to go pissing it off until we know what we're dealing with.
Yes. So you sort of look through the fence, and you see, that the town, when you sort of look through a hole in the fence, and you see the town looks almost like a ghost town. If it not for the fact that you see, you can't, it's something much strangely smaller, shorter than the scope of what you're looking through. And you see, best as you can tell, is almost looks kind of like a cloth cap, very weird and very red, that goes just under your field of vision, and you hear what sounds like heavy metal or heavy stomping footsteps going throughout the town itself.
Oh, I know what that is. You said a red cloth cap?
Mostly red cloth cap, yep.
Is the red cloth cap perchance bloody?
With a 19 perception, yeah, it looks kind of like that.
Shit, red cap. Alright. Okay. Would Locke know anything about red caps?
Roll for me, this would be more... I don't know if this would... This is not nature, because they're not necessarily a wild animal. But they're very much associated with Fae stuff, because they originate from the Feywild, generally.
Intelligence, maybe? Just a straight intelligence check?
Sure, do straight intelligence then.
10. Nah.
Not really.
Alright, well, Locke is going to back away and link up with the others and relay. So that town is a ghost town, but there's something clanking around with heavy steps and a red cap in there.
A red cap?
Yeah, like a cloth red hat, bloody, like it's just drenched in the stuff.
Silver can roll intelligence to see if she knows red caps.
Just straight intelligence?
Sure.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. 13?
Eh.
Does our resident Furbolg know anything about red caps? Strikes me that he'd probably be the most likely of anyone in the group to know something about it.
Maybe. I'm gonna give it to him with advantage because everybody's trying to figure this out.
Alright.
Also 13. Kadruil, roll intelligence. With advantage, sure.
It's from another plane, or it's something that would be on the normal plane?
It could be in both places.
Okay. Because if it's predominantly elsewhere, I would probably not be familiar with it.
I'm actually going to give you... I'm glad that you rolled high. One of your books that you have actually has a story about them.
Okay.
It just took a second with the description for it to click in your brain. Yeah, red caps are fun. Extremely violent and gruesome little boogers is what they are. They live on carnage and violence and blood, and the story that you read about them, they basically seem to do a lot of what they just did here. they took over a village, a town. Someone. The way the story was told, it was as if something happened that summoned them or brought them forth, and then a crew of like 3 to 5 red caps. It said 3, no 5. It said specifically 5 red caps just decimated a small village similar in size to Fumak. And
How big are these?
they're described as being small creatures. They are gnome-sized. Gnome and halfling-sized.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. You have the town in front of you, and it has been, sort of... Yeah. What are you going to do?
That is a fantastic question, Voice in the Sky. What are we doing? Do we want to, like,
I'm assuming Kadruil is going to regale them with a little bit of what he knows, or perhaps give Locke the book.
Yeah, I would probably tell him what I knew from it.
Okay, so we have a little gnome-sized, bloodthirsty maniac that has seemingly, at the very least, dispersed an entire town of satyrs. If there are any left over, or if they all just scattered and are in hiding, then maybe we should deal with this red cap. Might earn us some favors with them and make us, make it more likely that they can help us find that tassel worm. That, and I'm just not entirely comfortable with the idea of letting something like that running around willy-nilly.
Did you? How many red caps did you see? Says Oak.
I only saw one. Only one. And I literally just saw the cap. I didn't see the rest of him.
Right. Okay. Well, do we want... I suppose stealth would be a good idea to deal with these things.
Yeah, and I mean, we came to this town to get information. If it's occupied by redcaps, then we can't get information until they're gone and any survivors are brought back together. So the way I see it, our hands are kind of tied.
So now a stealth check would be at advantage since they're clanging around and making so much noise, right?
No.
I'm not sure that's how that would work, but alright.
No. But the gate and entryway through the fence is more or less open. The only form of sentry or block for it is the one satyr's head on a spike.
I'll go ahead and roll a stealth check for me for when we actually start doing that. 21 for when we actually start sleuthing.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Okay.
And did you say that I knew it was like a medium-sized creature?
Small.
Small.
Gnome-sized.
And
do they have like a mortal enemy? Like, are we talking like snakes and mongoose sort of thing?
not that was listed in the book. No.
No. I was going to use my entertainment hat to look intimidating to it.
All right.
Here's a really fucking tall red cap with like just the bloodiest of hats. Assert your dominance.
Or,
Yes,
I could
become
also,
a god to them.
I could also make myself look like a satyr.
Lure them into a false sense of security.
What
You
is
could.
security? They'll sit there and attack him.
Yeah, but
And they'll be surprised. I can probably defend myself better than a random satyr.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you guys make your way in.
I guess with our stealth checks.
All right.
And I guess for now I'll be looking like what's the alter ego thing? Something grasp.
Shadow
Got a
grasp.
grasp.
Shadow grasp. I guess for now I'll be looking like him.
Okay.
All right. So I did.
What do we do? Just kind of glance along.
I did make a different map for Fumak, but I forgot to add it into the thing, and it was essentially the same principle as the adjusted main map, it was just more saturated, except in Fumok's case, the river on this side was ever so slightly tainted red. For obvious reasons.
Right.
But for some reason, I totally put it into Roll20. I remember doing that, but it's not here. I don't know what happened.
Do you still have the file on your computer?
I do, but I don't want to try to make a map right now.
Fair enough.
I mean, I could. I had added the red caps token when I did the map, and the red cap token wasn't here. But I wanted to keep the red cap token here, which is what I was doing a second ago. So yeah. You guys wander
The
in.
red scribbles work.
Nothing.
Yeah. You can do that. I'm gonna let you have that. Fine.
Ah,
So you guys wander in stealthily, doing relatively well. And
And then elephant. Thunk, 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 thunk.
well, you did.
no. Then incredibly light and nimble, lithe elf. Ka-thunk, 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 ka-thunk.
All right. So yeah. You make your way forward, and you did some pretty well in your stealth checks there, even with the 11. I rolled a perception for him, and he rolled a 7. Anyway, you make your way inside, and you find a small gnomish-looking creature sitting right here. In front of this, what would have been a small house that was like the apothecary in the other realm. And he is literally carving into the corpse of a satyr as you guys are coming around the corner.
Oh, so he does not see us?
He doesn't notice-
I thought we'd send Young around to perform sneak attack, and then we all just unload on him at once.
Yeah, I was gonna sit there and like Silver points at Yang if she sees her, and just points at the thing like, go
Fuck
get
up.
Yeah, you got it. Okay. And Young will go over here and sneaky, bop, bop, bop.
him. Bop, 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 bop.
Well.
So let's do.
Silver's gonna be like right behind her as well.
Yeah, I know.
Locke is keeping a relative distance because magic user.
Advantage because stealth and things. 15. Yes, 15 will in fact hit.
Woohoo!
So seeing as how I have redone how I was doing damage and things, with crits and whatnot, because yes, she auto crits because assassinate. She is going to roll her damage.
Doesn't she also get 4d6 for her sneak attack damage too?
She gets. She's not quite high enough level to get an extra d6 of damage because she's putting.
Right, because monk and rogue multiclass, right? My bad.
Yep, she's multi-classing monk as rogue, but her standard weapon hit is 1d6. She gets 2d6 for sneak attack, which are double the dice for both of those. So, kaboom. 24.
She only has a +3 from strength.
And she has a +3 because dex.
Okay.
That is a 24. And then, because she can, and it's not dead in one hit, it now knows she's there, but Flurry of Blows, kabop.
Kabop.
Not with advantage anymore. Whoa, that was so close to a crit, again. 6. And 15 will hit. 9, 15. I don't need this thing anymore. Dude. Ow. Okay. Yeah, it is hurting and it is aware, and immediately upon seeing Yong as part of the surprise round, we are going to roll initiative, and he is and this little madcap is screeching like crazy.
Ah, shut him up, shut him up. Oh god, no. No, there's my other one.
Okay, so Silver got a crit fail on her initiative. Cad looks like you got a crit fail on her initiative. I got a 9.
I'm going to make things easy on myself and make all the potential madcaps have the same initiative. If he rolls a higher initiative than everybody else did, he gets a chance to screech and call for his buddies. And then we'll keep the initiative for all the rest of the thing. Otherwise, you guys will get a chance to hit him, and if you kill him before he gets his turn, then I'll keep the initiative anyway, but you guys will not be all attacked at the same time.
Alright.
Sure. You guys do your turn. Go right ahead. Sure.
Alrighty.
In order of where your turns were. So, who has the higher dex between Locke and Cad?
My dex mod is 2.
My dex mod is 3.
You go first then.
Cad is first.
Okay. So, even though I am first, I am waiting on Locke.
Oh, okay. Alright, Eldritch Blast then.
Roll to hit. You get 2 hits.
Yep, 20. I have to roll for both?
Yep.
Alright. 20 and a nat 1.
Okay.
I assume the 20 hits.
The 20 will hit. Roll your damage.
13.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty sure that's like max damage for me for that.
Close.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah, it is
1d10
max.
plus 3, so yeah. Yep, there. Yep, that.
Nice. Okay. Cad.
I get between the two, and facing the red cap, I just sort of stand defensively.
Okay.
No, crush him.
That's my turn.
Make him go spurt.
Scary stuff happens when I attack. I'm here to defend you.
Alright. Oak is going to Guiding Bolt.
Forgot how many hit points these fucking things have. Scrawny little shits.
Yeah. He's uncasted at level 1 to save spell slots for potential things. And that is spell attack. He will miss. Silver.
It's my turn? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving you guys a surprise round. So,
Fine, yeah, we snuck up on it. That's how that works, last I checked.
Yeah, no fire, though.
Flame Tongue Sword will hit. Alright.
Yeah, just 10 damage, no fire. And then one more.
Yep. 16 will hit.
11.
Good job. Y'all got him.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Just barely, but you got him. Having done that, he doesn't get much of a chance to screech. But you now have a decimated and dead little person dude. And I am going to roll a perception. Really? Okay.
Really?
So, wait.
Would I be able to use the Hat of Entertainment to look like a medium-sized one of them?
I mean, yeah, you've seen one now.
So I tap on Locke and I sort of wink and point at the corpse we just beat and then poof. And then I gesture like shh.
Okay, you've been
but okay.
Okay.
And what is he doing? Looking like a giant ass red cap without alerting anyone else except me?
I
I
mean,
didn't
he
want you to panic that all of a sudden I was a red cap.
Okay.
and
I'll
I
real
mean,
quick- okay,
Oak
I'll-
is there
okay,
to
I'll-
see as well.
Yeah, I'll real quickly in rapid succession hit anyone who didn't see it with awakened mind and say, the tall ass red cap is Cad. He used the hat.
Hmm.
Right.
Quickly sending that ping out via mental thingy.
So, what? Do we just explore the town until we find a survivor or something, or what are we doing?
I guess if there are any more,
Or-
we'll want to clear. If there are any more of these things, we'll want to clear them out too. So yeah, looking around is what we're doing.
Okay. I know people rolled crappy initiative, but I think it would be just easier if I kept the turn order.
Fair enough.
Because you guys are going to be fighting perhaps many of these. So, yeah. Where are you going to go? Most of the houses here look very similar to the ones in Fremont normally, but a lot of them are in tatters, and there's a lot of places where there are satyr heads on spikes and things. Because they're scattered all about this place. No.
No.
I have my amount of red caps. You shush.
We do not want to fight 8 of these things. Trust me.
So, you guys make your way around, and yeah. Who's leading the charge? Who's looking around to try to find any sort of anything?
Well, somebody took the initiative in that department, so.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm definitely heading back. Because I'm not good enough close combat, so I'll be hanging either towards the back or in, closer to the middle of the group. I vote
Yep.
either Silver or Cad takes the lead because durable.
Yep. So I guess we go sneaky, sneaky, sneak. Sneak, sneak.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Pick a direction, Lady Paladin.
Yep, pick a direction, Miss Paladin.
Let's head this way.
We have made a cross.
And then it goes
We're
away.
going over this way.
Roll for me perception, Silver.
I would like it if my 20s came back. 18.
That's not a 20, but it's better than a 1.
Yeah.
There's a red cap right there.
Has he noticed us?
Oh.
You rolled a. You peek around the corner, and you see this red cap that. Yeah, he sees you, but Young has initiative, so Young is going to smack, but she doesn't get her assassinate shenanigans. But yeah, he sees you.
Oh boy.
So Young Harar.
Charge?
Yeah, pretty much.
Punchy, stabby, make this red cap go quiety.
Roar.
Make this red cap stop being noisy.
Ooh!
I mean, she gets critical, because critical. Not because assassinate, but because she rolled a fucking critical hit.
Yes, she did. So... this is also doubled for her sneak attack damage. Or, no, she wouldn't have sneak attack, it's all. Never mind. So, 26, so that's still 7. And then Flurry of Blows, Karar. Bop. 17 will hit. And 8 will not. So 6 more. Redcap's turn.
Screech.
Yeah. Sort of bonus action style screech hurrah to alert his buddies. And, yeah. And he is going to try to So Silver, you came charging up.
Yep.
Okay. He sees you. He sees this dwarf who is of slightly smaller stature, not quite as small as he is, but smaller stature. And then he sees much taller ASMR medium humanoid, and upon you coming closer and around, you are going to be you see that this little red cap that you know somewhat about, but not a whole lot, he's going to take his big huge iron boots and he is going to kick at your shins. Make for me a dexterity save.
Oh dear.
Go, you annoying little fucker. 14.
Very nice. So congratulations. You do not fall prone.
Ow, you little piece of shit.
Let's see. And you avoid the damage too. You essentially avoided his kick. Good for you. So he kicks towards you, and you're like, eh? And you get out of the way of his iron heavy boots. And yeah, he is screeching, calling for his buddies, which may be coming up soon. Cad, it's your turn.
Can I move and prepare an action, or it's either or?
You can move before you prepare an action, yeah.
Okay. I would like to move to be on this side of Locke, and if anybody approaches from any direction towards him, I want to be ready to turn and confront them.
But you're being defensive again?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Locke.
Okay. That be the case, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to expend a spell slot and cast Dissonant Whispers, and because as a warlock all my spells default to the highest level slot I have available, it'll be at 4th level.
Yep. 6d6.
6d6 damage. Yes.
Wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw. Spell save DC is 14.
Wow.
Damn. I like that.
That's actually Daniel's roll from before, isn't it? Just without the +3.
Very similar.
He takes the full 25 if 6 is his save.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
Nope, he's not. We now have a cat or an oak. So, oak.
He's the bard, right?
He's a bard in it.
Musical instrument starts playing really loudly. Roll a stealth check.
He yeah, sure. He is going to do a high level spell, and he sees what Cad's got going on as an idea, and he's going to do Wind Wall. And he is going to follow through with Cad's idea, and he is going to put up a long line wind wall.
From where to where?
It is up to 50 foot. Up to 50 foot long. He's going to put it like right there to block any would-be attack. Wait. To block any would-be attackers. And that is his turn. Silver.
Oh, he's not dead yet?
Nope,
Nope.
he's
Okay.
not.
Probably-
Considering
probably
that
so.
considering that two of your characters did not attack him, he's not dead yet.
Right. So, bonus action, lighting sword on fire.
Okay.
And attacking.
24 will hit.
Or that damage.
Ouch.
And my next one, 9. Damn it.
9 will miss.
Okay.
And then it comes to Yong. Hooray! Yong is going to smack at him again. Yong is going to smack at him again.
Young is going to smack at him again.
Yong will hit. Yay! 6.
And then Young is going to smack at him again.
Yong does not have to. He is dead.
Oh.
And then
Punch!
on the random madcap's next turns, because all the same, blah blah blah, and how does one? I guess the next one trying to make his way through the wind wall would have to make a strength saving throw. Because he's going to be charging forward and not worried about said wind wall. Because he's not going to realize it's there.
I don't think we can see one, but alright.
I mean, he's not going to be able to see. I know you can't see the madcap coming around because I haven't made him visible yet. But right there he is. So, yeah. Strength saving throw. This is for Oak's save. And that is a 15. No. Okay. So, Locke, you hear the crazy wind of wind wall, and then just beyond it, ever so slightly muffled, but not by much, because heavy footsteps. Kum 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 kum. As a madcap comes towards said wind wall, and 3d8 bludgeoning damage, and he can't get through the wall. Alright, so Cad, you see madcap approaching from the other side of the wind wall, and it is your turn. What are you going to do?
How conceivably possible is it for me to sort of push past Locke and sort of like bump him back into the square I was in if he's like willing to be nudged?
Assuming that you're not going to attack or charge through the wall, you could use a shove to push him through, which if he's not resisting, there's no roll required. So, yeah.
So I attempt that.
Oh, yeah.
Hoping that he goes into this spot here. Yep. And I'm standing defensive. I'm good. Keep Locke safe.
Why is he protected all of a sudden?
Because it's what he does. Locke.
No reason.
Alright. Let's see here. I am going to use my last spell slot to cast Blight on that red cap.
Okay.
He needs to make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw. And if he fails, he will take 40 damage. If he succeeds, he will take 20.
Youch.
Holy crap. Let's see. The Constitution?
Constitution, DC 14.
20.
Fuck. Alright. Alright, so he takes 20 damage. Still.
I guess to be fair, he's pretty nasty anyway.
Alright. So, Oak. Wind wall concentration? Yes, it is. Or, wait. No, it's not. Okay. But it lasts for 1 minute.
So 9 more rounds.
I suppose we can keep it at bay unless it decides it wants to be smart enough to run around the wall, because it's only through these buildings here. And theoretically...
Did you have any offensive magics you could chuck at it to kill it? Like that guiding bolt thing or whatever it is you do?
What is the range on this? Oh. Okay. Yeah. So this thing,
That.
Oak sort of hears that from Locke, and he's like, "Don't you have anything ranged that you can do?" And Locke, looking through the wind wall, you see Oak First, Oak grabs a hold of his holy symbol and concentrates for a second, and on the other side of the wind wall, you see this large, like quarterstaff essentially, but it's like decorated with like thorns and other such things that appears and then flurries and then against said person.
And he shouts, "Shillelagh!" Oh wait, he's not a druid. Never mind.
I mean, kinda. So spell attack, melee spell attack, so +7. That'll definitely hit. And it is 1d8 plus 4 spellcasting modifier. 6. That doesn't kill it, but it's there. And now he has a floating weapon thing. This is also something that he doesn't have to keep concentration on that lasts for a minute. Silver.
Alright.
What you doing, Silver?
Right, so I guess that red cap is dead.
The one that you were fighting where you and Young were? Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna go over this way and see if I can see anything, if any of them coming down this way.
Okay. Make for me perception.
20.
Yep. There's one right here. He was trying to... He sees you because he was trying to very and vainly, because heavy boots, he was trying to sneak around this corner to go this way.
I'm being like, you're noisy. That'll be it.
Yep. Young's coming. You see once it... Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna go forward now.
Well, I mean, she would intend to. You would still have your movement if you want to do that first.
No, I was just gonna wait until he actually moves up. So that way I stay near everyone else.
Okay. Younglin's coming up this way. And I lost them from the turn order because I am a dumb. But they were between... Young and Cad. I'm just gonna put... Okay. So. He totally sees you. He's gonna come to you on your turn. I suppose you could ready an action though. But yeah. Young is going to be more defensive and be right here. And he... This one, anyway. Actually, let me focus on this other one. Little dude. Intelligence check, please. If ever. Boop. No. Charges into the windmill.
Again.
The one up here. Because intelligence of less than 10. He doesn't realize that the wind pushed him away and actually was painful enough to stop him. This windmills thing was a strength check. Yes, strength check. Nope. 3d8. Wow. Okay. And now this one over here. Did you let Young get in front of you?
Sure.
Okay. He's going to Iron Boot attack Young. Dexterity. Dave. Young.
So these guys have gigantic iron boots, huh?
Very heavy iron boots, yes.
So they explore the lake beds and find like Zelda-esque treasures.
Oh yeah. So he comes through to like charge low, and Young literally jumps, and then she has a ready to action, because she didn't do anything on her turn. So she has a ready action when he comes close and smacks him on top of the head.
Yeah, nope. It's like,
Like,
yeah,
no,
you don't
bozo.
kick.
8 piercing to that one. He unfortunately does not have the rest of her attacks because that was a readied action. Alright. And it is to Cad. Are you remaining defensive?
Yeah, that sounds good. I would possibly move to this position so that I could go to the right if I need to, but yeah.
Alright. Locke, your turn.
Alright, well, since I'm out of spell slots, I am going to target that mofo.
Uh-huh.
And I am going to Eldritch Blast. Once
That'll hit.
and twice.
That'll hit.
So
And he
5.
gone. He gone. One on the other side of the windmill, right?
Mhm.
Yep, he gone. Oak. Locke, do you think I should keep the windmill up on this side, or what? Because Silver and Young are going the other way, and I think they found another one.
We've got Cat. I think you can drop it.
Okay. Cad, do you have him? I'm gonna go check on the other two.
Right.
Okay. And then he's gonna go over here, and he's gonna see that one, and then guiding bolt. Rawr. Spell attack here, and 46, 7, 13. Does 13 hit? 13 hits. Okay. 4d6.
Their boots make them really slow.
Huh? Oh yeah, the
Their
boots make them really. The boots make them slow. Yes. 29, and it is to Silver.
Fuck him up! Some Irish man far off in the distance.
Oh yeah. You hit. Go right ahead. Wow.
That's 24 damage.
Jeez.
And then a 12.
That one missed.
You can quit
Yep.
rolling 12s now.
I know.
12, 12, 12.
12, 24, 36.
My math is trying to fail me there for a second. Okay. So Young here. Young will smack. Young here, Young smack. Rar. 13 or 12 misses. Flurry of blows, Rar. 7, she gets her thing, her gauntlet stuck in the dirt temporarily. Yeah, so she punches, she missed as it ducks out of the way. She punches with the other hand, it gets stuck in the dirt, and she comes back around for a kick and smacks him on the side of the face. 7. And he's gone.
Should he be like incredibly inspired that she kicks so well? Apparently they're all about their.
I mean, probably. So,
For a split second, his consciousness is lost.
yep. Alright. So it is to you, Cad. You currently see no threats.
I
Going to make this one
guess-
disappear instead of deleting him so he doesn't go away from the turn order on my screen.
I guess ready in action to jump in whatever direction or follow as needed.
Okay, and also it should be noted that he dropped the wind wall because Locke said that would be fine.
And then you deleted the token you weren't going to, and it dropped from the turn order.
No, it's fine. And the spiritual weapon follows Oak though. So Silver, when you turn around to look, when you turn around to look at Oak, who's coming up behind you, you see this like glowy, magical, thorned quarterstaff.
That's new.
Yeah. So Locke, what are you doing with your turn? Anything specific?
Do we have any more red caps?
or are they all dead?
Not that you can see.
I guess we.
You can make a perception check though, if you want to try to notice one.
Yeah,
It's not hard.
Yeah, I'll come up here and make a perception check, see if I can hear any more of the fuckers. That's a natural one.
Nope, not at all.
You hear them sneaking up behind you. Ka-thunk, 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 ka-thunk. That's just Kadruil.
Yeah,
Oh.
karate chop.
Oak is here. He's going to follow you guys. Staying mostly behind Silver and Young. And Silver, what are you doing with your turn? You can roll a perception or you can just sneak or move.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just confused about something. But
Yep.
Silver's gonna go this way and sneak.
Roll for my stealth.
Boop. Shit.
Okay. So, Young is going to follow you. He's trying to keep you in the foreground here because you're tougher than she is. And you hear it before you see it. Dunk, 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 dunk. Make a dexterity save.
Uh-oh.
Silver.
15.
Okay. Dadgummit.
Does yours automatically include your buff?
Yes.
That's her dexterity is 0, so her buff is her bonus.
Okay.
Cad, what are you doing?
Waiting to see where Locke is going.
Okay, so Locke. Cad is following you.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, we got more red caps to deal with, so I am going to park my backside right there. And Elder Blast, 2 pops. Nah.
The 12 will miss. Cad, makes for me a dexterity save with advantage.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. No. No.
Well,
Does that make your spell DC? Your spell DC
my-
is 14, right?
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Elephant Man. Please don't rage at me. 8?
8 damage.
That's actually a good question because he just got hit. Would he go into a rage at this point? And would he rage at me
Must
because I'm the one who
keep-
hit him?
must keep Locke safe from all threats. Locke is a threat to Locke.
It's a
I come
legitimate
to
concern,
and I
though.
have you like pinned up against the building.
It is a legitimate concern because I have no idea. Because I don't think I would survive a pissed off elephant man attacking me.
Alright, so you take 8.
I sort of take the hit and sort of grunt a little bit, but I'm still focused on the red cap who's in front of me.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You go to blast and literally the elephant gets right in your face and throws you off and you smack him in the back.
In the butt.
I mean, butt would work too. He's taller than you.
There you go. I added a decoration flare to my.
Alright, so Oak is going to run forward. He's going to keep behind Young and Silver. However, his weapon is going to shimmy off this way and go kabop. Ew! That's Oak's weapon, by the way.
Oh, so that's good for us then. Sorry,
That's
I'm
good.
I'm observing
Yes.
like 7 different things right now. So.
Everybody's doing different things apparently, other than me and Kenneth.
Oh, like between my turn, I'm just checking things.
Alright. That's Oak's
Talking to
turn.
my girlfriend
Silver.
about how squishy she looks.
Silver.
Okay.
You see a floating thorn quarterstaff right beside the red cap next to you.
And just bopped him in the back of the head.
Really hard, by the way.
Bonk.
15.
That'll hit.
19.
So 15 and 16.
Yes.
Okay. Young was swinging under her brother's quarterstaff thing and just bop bop. So smack hit 9. Fury of blows kabop. 22 hit 9. 4. So yeah. Yeah. So Young slides underneath the quarterstaff and just slashes at him with her claws once, twice, and then a kick across the face and bye bye Madcap.
More of them?
Well,
I'm rolling perception to see if I hear any more of them. That's a 3. Never mind.
You hear me wheezing? You know, you just sort of singed me a little bit.
Oh, I gotta start patting off Cad's back. I'm so sorry. You got in my way. I should have pointed off to the side. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's not. I blasted you in the back. That is not
Oh, wow.
okay. That is the opposite of okay.
Oak rolled a natural 1.
Oh, fuck me.
Okay, so I don't know if there's any more, but there's blood all over this place. Let's just go, and we will follow Silver, and we will make the turn to go around until Silver comes again as you're walking around. Because you're walking around stealthily, I imagine.
Yep.
So, Silver, lead the way.
So Young should totally do a flurry of blows and with her final attack reach up into the air and grab the quarterstaff and use it to
That would be funny.
And
Next
going
time.
this way.
Alright, roll for me perception. Not hard, just don't roll crap. There you go.
15! That's not crap, is it?
20.
Okay, yeah. So you guys come around the corner, and having heard all the ruckus and commotion, and with the ones getting a chance to screech, there is one more red cap coming up this way towards Silver. Roar! For purposes, everyone was waiting on Silver because she is leading the charge. So I'm going to give her first turn, even though she technically has last turn. That's fine.
Okay.
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 Okay, so Silver, roar. Do your thing.
Rar.
21. God, I'm not
Alright.
doing a lot of damage.
You're doing a lot of accuracy.
Yes.
So 16 and 11. 27.
No.
Yeah, 16 and 11. That
yeah,
was your
16
damage.
and 11. Okay. I was reading it backwards.
16 and 11 is 27. I was hoping I could do that math in my head, but it's failing me because I'm tired. 55. Okay. Why did I have an issue with that? As soon as I got the actual answer, I was like, why was that hard? Anyway, so, yep, Yong is going to smack, and that'll hit. That'll hit. Gets flurry of blows. That'll hit. Bop, bop, bop. 21.
Nice.
Okay. And it then goes to the Madcap. So this one is going to be ever so slightly smarter than the rest of his buddies. And he is
30,
not
so I win.
fish. And he is not going to try to smack at Silver with his boots. He is going to try to smack at Silver with his sickle and his multi-attack, because multi-attack.
Okay.
24 or 25?
That is.
Alright. I will do damage and... Oh, right, because you're literally fighting with a sickle, and we established before that sickles don't have high damage.
No.
Okay.
But he gets multiple attacks, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 11
Oh,
misses.
is that? Wow, that's
11 missed.
yes, but still, that's 12 damage.
And then an 8 missed.
Yes.
Cad,
It's just like, ow, that hurts. Slap, slap, slap.
Slap, 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 clap, 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 clap.
Cad, go.
Does he have any reaction to the fact that I am looking like one of him, but much, much larger?
No, not in the least.
Really?
Does Cad have any reaction to the fact that one of his friends just got flunked?
I mean, that's up to Cad. But, yeah, the Mad Cap doesn't care about you. At all.
Mad Cat?
Red Cap.
There we go.
The problem with being a one-trick pony.
Uh-huh. Especially considering all your fun stuff involves you actually being in a rage.
Trying really hard to visualize, what is it, fields of lavender and steeped green tea. I guess, can I, like, try and get him to be mad at me with, like, angry-sounding stuff? Can I, like, intimidate him to, or persuade him to, let's see. I guess it'd be intimidation.
Yeah,
Can I
it
try
would.
and make him come after me?
Yeah, roll me Intimidate. At advantage because you do look like one of them. And you're bigger.
Leishna, 17.
Okay. He seems mildly perturbed. Locke.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Eldritch Blast. 2
Yes.
pops.
You're not Ford. Don't do that.
I don't need to be Ford.
Both will hit.
Also, that's a 7 and an 8, so a 15, I believe? Yes.
Yep. He had dead.
What?
He had dead.
Boom.
So, everyone is following Silver yet again. Where are you going, Silver?
Let's see, I started heading this way, so I'll go over there.
Whoa, leap of faith.
Sadly, his spiritual weapon go poof.
Second.
Meow.
Yeah, it's been like 120 seconds, so.
Make a perception check, Silver. Not gonna be hard. Just don't roll crap again.
How many of these fucking things are there?
You don't know.
We don't know. 3.
Okay.
Oh no.
I had a brilliantly stupid idea.
Hmm.
Can I trumpet really, really loud?
You sure?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
no.
I guess there's no point in that. They already sort of shrieked and called each other. Never.
So, Silver, do me a favor.
Boldly go this way.
Do me a dexterity save at disadvantage.
Oh, me.
Yep.
Ha! 18.
That
Wow.
gummit.
Disadvantage.
Okay, so
Dun,
in
dun,
this
dun.
in this very sort of uncanny sort of way, like how the heck did that happen? So you're going around the corner and making your way down this way, and a madcap will launch out from under this like deck of this porch here, and goes to kick at you, and you get out of the way. However you do that.
It's like she doesn't even spot him. She just keeps going at her normal walking pace, and he like aims at where she was, not where she's going to be, and just sails right by.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, oh.
So, yeah, Yong was holding up. He got a turn. It's fine. Cad, I'll give the turn to you.
I'm just going to be defensive and sort of look around. Can I do a perception and see if anyone else is in neighboring areas?
Yeah, you can. 20. You specifically, I sort of imagine your ears twitch just a bit because big ears, and you hear no form of running movement in the immediate area. You do still at this particular point in time get a heavy smell of blood. It's like all over this place. And that sort of distracts you a little bit, but you do not hear any other heavy footsteps currently. So to the best of your knowledge, this very well may be close to, if not the last one.
Okay. In that case, I will sort of slide into position here and tank up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or what's the sound effect from Slay the Spire for defend?
If I heard it, I could imitate it, but all right.
Yep. So Locke.
All right, so can I try something here? Can I ready an Eldritch Blast, but also try to make an intimidation check to get this guy to run away? And if I fail, blast him. If I succeed, release it so that it doesn't blast him? Is that a thing I can try to do?
Roll an oddly specific check.
So that would be kind of difficult to do at this. Although I guess your intimidation check. Sure. Why not? I'll give you a chance here.
All right.
Yeah, just roll me a straight.
The idea is that I'm conjuring up the Eldritch Blast energy in my hand while loudly declaring, "We've easily killed every one of you we've met so far. If you value your life, turn tail and flee now."
Nice. Roll intimidate.
Alrighty. Now you have a pretty good charisma score, so here's to hoping. 9.
No. Oh, no.
Nope. Doesn't seem to hold any water. Eldritch Blast away.
Nice.
But what I will do, for sake of balancing purposes, you did the intimidate instead of doing your second Eldritch Blast.
Okay, well, I mean, the second one would have missed anyway, so it's doesn't matter. 10 damage.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Oak. He is going to make his way over here. We've dealt with a bunch of these guys. Anyone have any idea if they have any of them left? I tried, but all this just heavy noise and everything was distracting me. He sort of... Does anyone have any idea if they have, or there's more or less of these things?
I didn't hear any more.
Okay, well, in that case,
So is like this little gnome thing is just like hopping from foot to like going like fisticuffs, like yeah, come on.
yeah, kinda.
He's got a sickle, so it's like he's waving that over. So I'm like, yeah, come on.
Time is money, friend.
Time is blood, and you've got a lot I want to spill. Gotta dip my hat in it.
So,
That's what they do. They dip their hat in blood. They got to keep it soaked. If it ever dries up entirely, they die.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
can we just tie him up and put him on a rooftop?
I mean, you could.
So
Okay.
does that mean that their mortal enemy would actually be a hairdryer? Can I transform into a medium hairdryer?
Alright.
No,
So,
but you can gain a useless experience point for that brilliant idea. Call them brownie points. You get brownie points for that idea. That's beautiful.
Oak is going to cast, or attempt to cast, Sleep. Which, sadly, does not work. But,
Oh no.
let's see. Because that's how sleep works in new 5th edition. Instead of rolling some sort of save or check or some such, you roll dice, and if you can equal or succeed the target's remaining HP, the spell works.
Coo. He has 26 or more health. Coo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, that is Oak Silver. Go.
Hey, my turn.
Yep.
Boppity bop.
Boppity bop. 21 will hit.
Bop.
14 will hit.
Bop.
So 13 and 18. Okay. Right. And then it is to Young. Who's going to go over here. And flurry of blows and all that sort of fun. Wait. Yeah. So she's just going to attack. She isn't going to do flurry, even if she doesn't kill him, because she's out of flurry. I had to double check my math there, but she is out of flurry. So 15 will hit. 9.
9.
Okay. He is going to swing at. Yeah, he is going to swing at Young, because why the heck not? He sees Silver as a bigger threat, so he's going to smack Silver because he is not. Wait, let me roll thingy thing, just in case. Is he smart?
He's gonna attack Cat. That's the only logical. Hold on.
He is not smart. He's going to hit Silver. 25. Will hit Silver most definitely. So Silver, you take 8. Does a 15 hit you?
8?
Yep, he's smacking
15
you.
does not hit me.
15 doesn't hit you.
No.
And then 15 doesn't hit you. Okay. You take 8.
So I take 8. What'd you say, Cam?
It is Cad.
I'm going to continue my services as resident bullseye board
Okay.
and just snarl menacingly.
Make an intimidation check, sure.
Yay.
Okay. So 17.
And I still look like a giant version of him.
Right. Okay. Oak.
Wait, hold on. You skipped me,
Oh, I did skip you. Whoops.
bitch.
He's directly after me.
Yep, sorry. Locke, go.
Bitch! I'm Eldritch blasting this motherfucker, and you are not going to stop me.
Okay. 19 will hit, sorry. 10 will not.
6 damage.
Very well done. I'm sorry I skipped your turn. He is dead now. Good job.
Good.
Okay. So. Yeah. You have succeeded in dealing with all of the madcaps.
Yay!
Woo. I heroically strike a pose because I helped.
Yes.
Good job.
I apologize for accidentally blasting you again.
Young will immediately look towards Cad and is like, and is there a reason why you didn't rage?
I can protect Locke without having to rage and push people into buildings.
We don't hear any more around, so.
Alright. If that is the case...
Do we want to look into one of the houses? I mean, they all look pretty closed up, which makes sense.
I guess maybe start calling out, ask if there are any survivors, let them know the red caps are gone.
The redcoats are gone. The redcoats are gone. Or coming, or yeah.
Do I know thaumaturgy? I don't think I know thaumaturgy. I
You-
know thaumaturgy, so I can make my voice louder.
You can.
All right. If that be the case, I am going to cast thaumaturgy on myself and loudly call out to the village. The red caps are dead. If there are any survivors, you can come out. It's safe now.
Okay. Make me a persuasion check.
All right. Do I get advantage because I'm telling the truth?
I mean, yeah. But it's not. I mean, if
Okay.
it was a lie, it would be deception. But
That's a 16.
okay. And in this house right here, the one that you're actually really close to, there is a very small creak and opening of the door, and you see eyes, small, relatively short,
Also, I'll probably. Has Cad turned off his red cap appearance yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And there is a rather short creak in the door, and a somewhat high-pitched voice is, "Really?" And I'm going to drop the session there.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. But for what it's worth, the voice coming through sounds somewhat young, and the stature of the person at the door was relatively small.
Great.
It
Either-
might be a kid.
Probably a kid. That's sad.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alrighty. It was fun. I will do the this has been will be Sam. And last time can be done by Brian.
Wait.
You're doing the this has been Shadows part.
Oh. This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time as we see what happened to this poor village of satyrs and continue on our merry way to take down a Tatsa worm and probably gonna befriend a cute little, possibly orphaned satyr kid on the way. That'll be a
Yes.
fun time.
New party member. Yay!
Oh,